Plus-size janitor becomes billionaire CEO's muse after knocking down designer dress. The crash echoed through the hall like thunder. Every head turned toward the trembling janitor who stood frozen beside a fallen mannequin. The delicate gown that Blake Designs had been preparing for the upcoming showcase now lay rumpled across the polished marble floor. Grace Miller's face drained of color. I'm so sorry, she stammered, crouching to gather the silk. Her mop bucket still sloshed behind her, the scent of disinfectant mingling with panic. A chorus of laughter rose from the staff nearby. Vanessa, the lead designer, folded her arms. Of course it was you, she sneered. You can't even walk without destroying something. Harper, the company's top model, tossed her glossy hair. Maybe next time they'll hire janitors who can actually see their own feet. The room filled with cruel chuckles. Grace's hands shook as she tried to lift the mannequin, blinking back tears. She whispered, I didn't mean to. Don't touch it, Vanessa barked. You'll only make it worse. Grace froze, but something inside her snapped. Maybe it was the humiliation or the months of whispers every time she passed in her uniform. Maybe it was remembering how hard she'd worked just to pay her brother's tuition. She inhaled deeply, then steadied the dress on its stand. Her eyes caught the misaligned seams near the waistline, a subtle flaw that no one else had noticed. With quick, careful fingers, she adjusted the folds and pinned the side differently. The fabric suddenly draped the way it was meant to, flowing perfectly down the mannequin's curve. The laughter stopped. Wait, Harper muttered. How did she? Who told you to touch that? Vanessa snapped, stepping forward. Before Grace could answer, a deep voice echoed from the glass balcony above. Enough! Everyone looked up. Ethan Blake, the billionaire CEO of Blake Designs, stood there, suit immaculate, eyes unreadable. He descended the staircase slowly, his gaze locked on Grace. The crowd parted instinctively. He circled the mannequin once, examining the corrected folds. Then he looked at Grace. Who made this adjustment? Vanessa stepped in quickly. Sir, she ruined... Ethan raised a hand. Silence. He pointed at the drape. Ruin? That's the cleanest line this design has had in weeks. His eyes softened just a little as he faced Grace. You did this. Grace swallowed. I only noticed the seam was off. I just wanted to fix it. Ethan's mouth twitched, almost a smile. What's your position here? She hesitated. Janitor, sir. A few gasps. He straightened. Not anymore. From today, you're assistant designer. Report to the creative floor tomorrow. And your salary just tripled. The room exploded in murmurs. Vanessa's eyes widened. Harper's jaw dropped. Grace blinked, stunned. Sir, are you sure? I'm not qualified. Ethan's voice softened but carried weight. You just saw what my entire design team missed for weeks. That's qualification enough. He turned and walked away. The whispers rose instantly after he left. Unbelievable. She got lucky. She must have caught his eye somehow. Grace hugged her notebook to her chest, heart pounding. For the first time in a long while, hope fluttered inside her. The next morning, Grace stepped into the design department wearing her plain cardigan and borrowed heels. Heads turned as she passed. She could feel Vanessa's icy glare burn holes through her back. Ethan appeared later that afternoon. Walk with me, he said quietly. She followed him to the corner office overlooking Manhattan. He motioned for her to sit. You studied fashion before? He asked. Yes, she said softly. My parents died in my final year. I dropped out to support my younger brother. Ethan's expression changed. I'm sorry. She shrugged, trying to smile. It's fine, he's in tech school now. I just never thought I'd be here again. You earned it. His tone was firm but gentle, and for the first time Grace saw warmth beneath his usual cold exterior. Over the next few weeks she proved herself again and again, fixing details, suggesting bold color contrasts. Ethan began trusting her judgment. Sometimes he'd bring her coffee late at night while they worked. Their fingers brushed once when they reached for the same pen. Both froze, a jolt running between them. He cleared his throat. Focus on the sketches. She smiled faintly. Yes, sir. But the tension in the studio grew thicker by the day. One morning, chaos erupted. Vanessa was pacing the hallway, face red with fury. Someone leaked our design, she shouted. The competitor just posted a version identical to ours. Whispers spread like wildfire. Grace stepped out of the elevator, clutching her sketch pad, confused as everyone turned toward her. There she is, Harper said. You were the last to handle that file. I just printed it for review yesterday. Vanessa smirked. And suddenly the same design appears online? How much did they pay you, Grace? Grace's voice trembled. What? I would never. Before she could finish, security arrived, followed by 2 police officers. Grace Miller, one officer said, you're under investigation for corporate theft. The color drained from her face. No, please, there's been a mistake. Take her away, Vanessa ordered coldly. She's done enough damage here. Tears filled Grace's eyes as the officers took her by the arm. Employees whispered behind their phones, some filming. The elevator dinged open. Ethan Blake stepped out. The entire floor fell silent. What's happening? His voice was sharp. Vanessa spoke quickly. She leaked the design, sir. We're handling it. Ethan's jaw clenched. You're handling it? Grace looked at him desperately. Mr. Blake, I didn't. Enough! Vanessa cut in. Take the thief. The sound of the slap cracked through the room. Vanessa froze, hand flying to her cheek. Ethan's voice was ice. Don't you ever touch her name with that mouth again. Everyone stood frozen. Even Grace stared at him in disbelief. Ethan turned to the police. Release her. Sir, we have an order. He pulled out his phone, spoke briefly to someone in authority, then looked back at them. Check your system again. Within seconds, the officers received a call. One nodded awkwardly. She's clear. New information just came in. Ethan faced Vanessa. You leaked the design, didn't you? She blanched. What? Of course not. Save it. I already traced the data through my contact at cybersecurity. He signaled the officers. Arrest her. Theft and defamation. Vanessa's mouth fell open as handcuffs clicked around her wrists. Harper backed away, eyes wide. Grace stood motionless. When the officers led Vanessa out, Ethan turned and did something that made everyone gasp. He stepped forward and pulled Grace into his arms. She stiffened at first, then felt his heartbeat. Fast, strong, protective. He whispered against her hair, I'm sorry you had to go through that. For the first time, she saw raw emotion in his eyes. He didn't know why he'd done it, only that the thought of her hurt had broken something inside him. The room around them blurred into silence. Want to see how a janitor became the muse of a billionaire? Comment full video below and don't miss the full story.